Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. I have a host of new coloring books I've been waiting to look at myself and to show you. These are all Amazon books. These are all newer books that have come out in the last few weeks, as far as I understand. A couple in particular I know. And I'm excited to show them to you today. I have some Valentine books, some Deborah Muller, some Kawaii, the new Mythogoria book. So let's start with some of the Valentine books and we will go from there. And then I can look at these myself. So these have actually been sitting in my mailbox for 6 days. And obviously this is Cute Hearts by Coloring Book Cafe, and I will link all of these books below in the comments, the description. So as always, Coloring Book Cafe has these little small versions of the bigger pictures. You can color little ones, cut them out, laminate them, whatever you want to do. So let's look at the big ones. Yeah, so we had a major ice storm, which is unusual for here. The ice so heavy that the chunks were this big and like this thick. So we lost our power beginning of the morning after the ice storm. Last Sunday, like at 10 a.m. It was 25 degrees out. It did not come back on. So into Monday. Tuesday, we spent 2 nights in a freezing cold house. I mean, it was probably 30 degrees inside. We don't have a fireplace, no wood stove, nothing like that. We had candles and flashlights, things of that nature. So we were like all in our own beds, like with like 10 blankets on us and sleeping in our clothes. I don't think I've ever in my life worn 2 pairs of pants at once, much less in bed. So like that's how cold it was. Like you can see your breath in the house. It was a real bummer. No electricity. The ice was so bad and so thick. So we live on a corner of 2 different streets, but the ice was so thick and pure, like it was like a skating rink on the streets and our pavement. Like no one could drive in it. Cars that tried were spinning out everywhere. Unless you had a big truck, etc., etc. So after 2 nights, we're like, this is just not working. Like it's too cold. All cell towers were knocked out. So we could not, so I was like going down to my car twice a day to charge my phone, let the car run with the heater. And you know, it's kind of sketchy because I only had a half tank of gas. So, and my son had no gas. Like it was like down to a fourth or something. So that was fun. So, but we couldn't get on, well, you know, with no Wi-Fi, we couldn't get, the cell towers were knocked out. So like, barely we could get spotty. Occasionally we could like load a Facebook page to get onto the utility boards page to see what they're doing, what their updates are, what the deal is. Maybe I could get in there like once a day and you could even load it all the way and I could see like the first few lines. It was really annoying, beyond belief. No, and it wasn't snow, it's just heavy ice. And so we have about 10 trees on our front and side yard. And the first night of the storm into the second night, all night long, like I have this giant two giant trees outside my window, my bedroom windows, which are in the back. All night long I heard this this is all like an avalanche, like over and over. And it was it was dark out, no power. I didn't know what was going on out there. And you know, it comes to find that the giant tree was losing its debris, losing its branches. The ice was weighing it down, taking the ice with it. So same with a couple of our trees in the front. It was, you know, so we were like, we're at it, you know, we left here. Friend of ours that lives up on a hill had power still, which never lost their power. I don't know how. So we went and stayed there. My older son never lost power and he just lives like 10 blocks away. I don't understand that either. Of course, no one had internet or cell service. So we stayed up on the hill. We're there for like 48 hours. This would be going into like the 5th day. And we came back, and on the 5th day, a second storm was due to come through. So it was going to stop all the process on all the utility boards. All the, like the progress, you know, who's getting their power back on and stuff. So we managed, and it was, you know, it was hard to get up that hill to get to our friend's house. I have an Expedition, but it only has 2-wheel drive, so like that did not work. But we got there. We didn't want to go back down it for a couple days. And I'll continue my story in a minute. So this is Cute Hearts Coloring Book by Coloring Book Cafe. It is super cute, I gotta admit. It's like a sweet love book. You have to have this book. It's super cute. All right, next we're gonna look at Double Trouble by Kawaii. Coloring book to spark your imagination. This is also like a love Valentine kind of theme book, and this is a new book as well. Lots of stuff here about sharing. All right. So anyway, we came back on the 5th day before we knew the next storm was going to come in. It was extremely, actually, I'm going to back up my story. When we left our house after the 48 hours, when we gave up with the no power thing, we were going to go to my son's house first because he's closer and he still had power. It'd be better than having to go to, you know, a friend's house. And he lives at the top of a hill. It's like a slow incline kind of a hill. And that was the first time we had ventured out. You know, my streets are never here flat. So going like 5 miles an hour, we were able to get out without too much sliding or anything. But no, so then, of course, we tried to get up my son's hill, and 3/4 of the way up, whoosh, we're sliding. The Expedition, like, is a big car, sliding all the way back. And my son was driving, my younger son, and I don't know that he had any experience in the ice. So that was probably a mistake. So he kind of turned back, so the back wheels were into the curb halfway on the hill, and we were stuck, and then our back tires got stuck in slick ice in the gutter. So we were literally stuck like this against a straight curb, wheel spinning, like slowly going back like this. And at the bottom of this hill was a major 2-lane highway. So it was extremely concerning as we were going to slide backward into that major street. So and we were almost at my son's house when this happened. So I called him. I'm like, we have a big problem. We're stuck here. You need to get your boots on, come out and help us, push us out of this ice so we can try to turn around and go back down. So he's like, okay. And so we're waiting and waiting. He didn't show. And, you know, his house was right at the top. Like, he, not a couple houses up, we could have almost seen it. Never showed. 10 minutes later, and then this other car stopped and helped us. Some guys helped us push us out and get us out of there. And we're like, I guess we're not getting to his house. So then I called him back. I'm like, what happened? You never showed. And he's like moaning in pain. He stepped out onto the yard, down the curb to come help us, and he literally slipped and broke his ankle. And he had to crawl on his stomach across the yard and up his wood steps to get back into his house. So now he hates me because he says it's my fault that I asked him for help and he slipped and broke his ankle. And of course, his hill was so bad, no one can get off that hill. So we couldn't even go to like an urgent care or hospital or anything. So that happened. So our next plan was to go to our friend's house. That hill is way shorter. And we stayed more to the middle of the road instead of onto the right lane. And we got up that, thank goodness, got up there. Okay, fine. Stayed there for 2 days. Then on the 5th day, we headed back down. Wasn't terrible because a lot of the chains and cars had melted some of the stuff in the center. But we wanted to get back and get back to our house because we left our cat behind to give him more food and water and before the next little storm was going to come through. And that was supposed to be a wind and ice storm, but not as big. So we come back to my house. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, 5 days later, even on all the main street, all the ice had melted on the roads. For some reason, on our side residential streets, on our neighborhood, none of the ice had melted. I don't know why. It makes no sense. So we're sliding all around, trying to get to our house on either side. Somewhere between when we left and when we came back, half my trees fell. Our yard, because we're on a wraparound corner lot, the front and side yard, just half of one tree, thank God it missed our house. Half of a tree split. These are giant, like, we have spruces, because we're in Oregon, we had spruces, we had Japanese maples, regular maples, I think we have a birch tree. One of them, just a giant piece split and fell, and it literally missed our house by like this much, and it was blocking the front door, so like it was right across the front patio, so that was helpful. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to get in by the back door. Well, that was like pure ice through the cement on the back, and we're like, we each fell. We're trying to get into the house. It was terrible. But yeah, the whole yard was like covered in, our whole wraparound grass and our inside of our fence was just covered in like debris. It looked like a tornado had gone through there. And I went around to my side where I'd heard that noise originally the first night, all night long. And I guess the weight of the ice over the few days kept knocking stuff down, even after the storm passed. And there was just like debris and branches and bracken, and oh my God, it's just a nightmare. It looks like World War Z in our yard right now. So we're like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. So we went back to our friend's house, fed the cat, went back to our friend's house, waited out this next little storm, which ended up being just wind and rain. And the rain, and it was probably in the high 30s then, maybe almost 40. It didn't fully turn into more ice, but it made things more slick. So we stayed up there. Oh, well then things got really interesting by about the end of the 5th day into the 6th day. I'll go into that part next. So that was Kawaii Double Trouble. If you like Kawaii, this is a good book. Different. I really like the other one more, but this one is cute, and you can probably do it more all year round because there's cute stuff like the 80s boots and all that stuff. All right. Let's look at another new one. Alexa, I'm not talking to you.
Sorry. I thought I heard my name.
Kawaii Town coloring book. I picked this one. It's by Jade Summer. I believe it's new, which was odd because I thought Jade Summer stopped making books. It was under new releases, so, but it's super cute. I love it. Let's look at this. Talks a little bit about the Jade Summer team. I think they started over with their own original stuff, so they were allowed back on Amazon or something. These are single-sided with a bright and dark black backing. All right. Okay. So, like I said, so we're up at our friend's house up on the hill. This was like on the other side of town. Like, so we're up there, and all of a sudden, you know, we're up there. She never lost power, but she didn't have cell signal, but she had TV, so we're watching the news and stuff. And on the news, and this is cute, it's all like little towns and like cute little stuff in this book. And on the news, you know, we're watching the utility boards posting twice a day and all that jazz. It's cute. These are like milk cartons they made into a house. They say, oh, problem, all of the water supply is now tainted because the power of the second storm knocked out power to the water treatment facility and the tanks that fuels the city's water. When this is a small town, actually not that small. We're just outside of a bigger town, but it's probably, I mean, I have no idea. It's well over 100,000 people. I don't know. But anyway, so you cannot use your tap water. You can have no water, and you have to boil all of your water. If you do use it, you cannot consume it. It can contain harmful bacteria and all that jazz because the water supply now is tainted. Don't bathe in it, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, you got to be kidding me. So as it was, the grocery stores, there's only like 2 big ones, like an Albertsons and a Safeway, pretty close by. We had been able to get there once on the way up to our friend's house, but they had lost power too. So they were on generators, and of course all their cold stuff had to be dumped. So all you could buy are pantry staples, and it's dark in there. So have you ever shopped in like an Albertsons when it's dark and you're like looking your phone flashlight to try to see what's on the shelf? It was terrible. It was like, this has never happened to me in my whole life. So pantry staples, which is great if you can still cook, which we could up at our friend's house, but other people like in our neighborhood couldn't, and actually 3/4 of the town. It's really weird because our friend lives up on a hill, and their power lines were underground versus above, which was lucky. So anyway, so we're over there, and now we're like, you guys are kidding me, water, and on top of that, they couldn't keep up with the water supply fast enough that people were like using, and because they couldn't refresh or clean or whatever they do to the fresh water, so all they had left was what was in the tanks. Those are going to run out. So okay, great. So we're like, this is a problem. So we hopped in the car, go back down there, somewhat icy hill with the newest windstorm. This is the next day. It dropped trees all up and down her street. You know, we're in Oregon, there's trees everywhere, and their power poles down everywhere. Is just a nightmare, you know. And so we get down to the Albertsons, and we went down there 10 minutes after we saw that posting. So I think we were one of the first ones, and all the bottled water is already gone, except like these Fiji waters, which I don't know how, but it was like $15 for a 6-pack of like these small bottles. And I don't know if they, in a very short period of time, gouged the prices. But anyway, we grabbed those, and we grabbed like 10 boxes of the La Croix, is it La Croix, La Croix, those sparkling water. We grabbed a bunch of those, a bunch of Gatorade. So it's just like, you gotta be kidding me. So I had no water. And my son said, my son who would still have power, the one who apparently broke his ankle and couldn't go to a doctor because he was stuck there, he said they shut his water completely off, and he had no water bottles. And we couldn't get up that hill to give him any water. So that was a problem. The whole thing was a nightmare. And of course, he was ticked off at me because he still thinks it's my fault that he broke his ankle, because he's the kind of person that everything's always someone else's fault. So I guess some neighbors came over and gave him some stuff. But unfortunately, they shut his back on the next day. But the rest of us were just on like the boil water notice. Let's turn this way so you can see. This is all like a cute little town here. And this ice storm of this nature has never happened where we live. I think in like, it's a record-breaking storm. We get snow maybe every 2 or 3 years for like a day or two, but very rarely, and definitely not like an ice storm. There was never really snow. It's all ice, like ice. So anyway, the water was out for 24 hours. And of course, the place where we're staying, this gal, she's like always cold. So she has had her heat blasting, and I thought I was going to die. It was so hot in her house. It was like 78 degrees or 80 degrees in there. So like we're sleeping in her guest room. My son and I, and my housemate was sleeping elsewhere, but we got to stay there. And it was just like, I'm like literally opening the windows and it was like, 30 degrees outside because it's so hot. So it's just like, I guess it's better to be that than freezing cold like we were in our house. But so anyway, that storm passed, and it has now been 1 week. Half the town's power has not come back. Fortunately, our power did come back. I had a neighbor text me when it came back on yesterday, so we came back. And now have the fun task of hiring tree services and debris cleanup, which is going to cost about $1,000 or more for our yard. Oh, and on top of that, my expedition broke down somewhere in the process. I don't know if something got in the engine or an ice thing hit it, but it is check engine light on and violently shaking. So I don't know what's going on there. So that was fun. And there's some other funny aspects. So you get the idea. This is the Kawaii Town Jade Summer. You've got these cute towns. You've got landscape and vertical and landscape view pictures. All right. Let's look next at the new Mythogoria Vengeful Forest, a twisted horror coloring book. And I have all the Mythogoria books. I do love them. I actually haven't colored any of them, but I love to look at the pictures, and I definitely plan to on Halloween because I got them all this year. So this one is brand new, and you can do this all year round. It has a lot of neat stuff in it. Very detailed pictures, like little leaves and flowers and skeleton in the horse. If you look, you can see a lot of interesting things. Oh, of course, I had to come back to a rotten smelling fridge. Lost probably. Oh, and it's a real bummer. I had just gone to Costco 2 days before the storm happened. My fridge and freezer were full. So I lost like $600 of groceries. So mad. Kind of had to throw everything out. Water was still off when we came back here. So like we were able to, they were giving away free water nearby at the community center, like water bottles. So we went stocked up there. But they got that back going today. So that's good. Look, she's in like a barrel looking out from her house, and the little house has legs. Isn't there cool stuff in here? So yeah, now we're dealing with the trees, and it's oh my gosh, in the fall, our yard is so beautiful. We've got orange and yellow and red trees just all around. Inside our fence, 5 giant trees, kind of in like front of the house and all around, and then on the outside of the fence, it's like a chain link fence, but it's like we have the most trees of anyone in our block, and it's really beautiful. And now we got one that's a gaping hole in it, half is gone, and then the other trees are like 1/4 gone, and they're all lopsided, and it's just, and the whole yard is trash. The stop sign got blown down by part of a tree, and it's just a nightmare. So And on top of that, I hate yard work. So anyway, that's why I'm here doing this right now. I did go out there and participate and drug a bunch of branches and piled them in the driveway, but that was about it. It's kind of a guy thing. So my son finally got to an urgent care yesterday. At the time we were hoping it was just sprained, but it was fractured, and they wrapped it and all that. Now he's got to maybe get a surgery, and his job, he's on a commission-based job, it's been dead because of the winter the last month and the storms, and so he's negative when paying for his bills now, and he's blaming me because he has all these co-pays and surgery, and I think he's expecting me to pay for it. I'm not sure. So, but you know, I told him, oh, look at these birds all wrapped in the, told him, you know, sorry that happened. If I'd known you were going to step on an ice patch and slide your butt down the hill, you know, off the curb to come help us, obviously I wouldn't have asked. It's not like I would hope you would have used your judgment and stepped in places where that wouldn't happen. And, I mean, I appreciate you trying to help, but like if my neighbor had called me and said, hey, can you bring us a water bottle? I'm like some old couple or something, or hey, we're locked in the bathroom, can you bring us a hammer? And I tried to walk across the street and slipped on my butt and broke my ankle. I wouldn't go attacking them, being like, it's your fault, I broke it, you need to pay all my medical bills, and screw you, whatever, like have a fit. Like that's kind of what he did. And it was just like, that's just the weather. The weather is ruining everybody's life. So it's just a bad fluke, you know. And yeah, I mean, I feel bad about it, but you know, we really were sliding and stuff and really did need help, and yeah, it was a risk. I mean, he could have said no, but anyway, so now he's on crutches, which is hard to do because he's very overweight, and so I think the crutches are hard, but I do feel bad for him. And it's hard because my 1.5-year-old grandson, he is custody, like 50-50 custody, comes 4 days a week, and now he's not gonna be able to like get him in and out of the car because he can't balance on one foot and holding a baby, get him out of the high chair, so I'm gonna have to be over there helping or watching him, and it's just a nightmare. So fun times. Oh, what's the funniest part is I didn't have any ice shoes. Like I had soft snow boots. Like I did not have anything good for ice, so like I was just sliding everywhere. So lesson learned, I need to buy some kind of boots that are purely for ice so I can at least go outdoors next time without falling. Ew, there's worms coming out of his brain. Lesson learned. Wish I could upload photos of the damage to this video somehow, just for entertainment purposes. Here's this gal that's kind of in the bracken. So this one looks like it's more nature-based with all kinds of creepy forest stuff. Ooh, little fairies. Little fairies. It's hard to see all the detail from an elevated position. It's like trees with birds and eyes in it and really weird stuff. But the art is really interesting. Okay, so I have Night Terrors, Gory Underworld, Nightmare Cabaret. I don't have Frozen Nightmare. I'd like to have that one. That's Vengeful Forest, which obviously it's a forest. So let's look at Deborah Muller's Cabaret. I have not even looked at this yet. I bought it the day it came out, and like I have the storm happened after, and I just haven't even been able to look at it. And she's one of my favorites. Cute. Love it. I love how she has more normal weight gals in here sometimes, not just the skinny minis. The chubby girls. Like I am. Yes, sirree. This, it comes across more as like a book with costumes in it. So not a ton of like background stuff. You have to get creative with your backgrounds. Oh, if you guys watched my newest supplies, Amazon supplies haul video like a week ago right before this happened, where I started showing you all the other new books I had, or some stuff from Christmas I got or something. I was showing you the different Outlander coloring books and talking all about Outlanders, one of my favorite shows, and talking about the show. I was doing all that. I love this with the different pattern stockings. I actually just color in each square with different colors instead of like the see-through translucent. I like blocks of color. But anyway, I was talking about how I love Outlander and which season I like, and talking about the scenes in the coloring book that matched the show, how I recommended it. don't know if you guys saw this. One gal posted a comment. It was like, what'd she say? It was kind of funny. Excuse my French, but she wrote, "No one gives a rat's ass about you liking Outlander," or something like that. And so, you know what? One, I think I blocked her. And two, first, no, I think I wrote a comment first. How about you find someone else's page to go troll? If you don't like it, then don't listen, or mute the sound or something like that. And I'm like, how do you know no one likes it? How do you know? Are you in the head of all 1,500 people I have on my channel? Really? No one cares whatsoever? Or is it just you? I mean, I'm sure out of 1,500 people, some other people might find it mildly interesting. And if not, you can mute the sound. So then I think I blocked her a bit. But yeah, newsflash, any negative commentary on my channel, you immediately get blocked, removed. So you can't view my channel, and or some really bad comments back, because I don't fall for that. Like, I don't allow negative stuff on my channel. Life's too short for that. So if you're thinking about doing that, find another page to do it on, because it will not go over well. And just like some, I'm sure she would say, "No one gives a rat's ass about your storm." Well, I never said they did, but it gives me something to talk about while I'm showing you my books. So, Cabaret pinups, really cute. Love this color. I might even try to replicate it. One book left. Oh, I want to show you this I got. This is a Mickey Mouse and Friends journal with tabs. I got this on Hot Topic. They had a Little Mermaid one too, but it was sold out. It was bummed. Just want to show it to you. Isn't it cute? So it's got different tabs where the different characters sections start. And nice line paper with the Mickey head. I don't know. If I see really cute journals, I buy it, even if I don't always use them or know what I'm using them for, because I just like them. But I do end up writing stuff in these. So this was the 100th anniversary journal, so you might want to see that. All right, lastly I have Playful Gnomes by Deborah Muller. Happy Friends to Color and Display by Zen Doodle. Of course, I love Deborah Muller. Her style in these Zen Doodle books is a little different than her normal books. So about Zen Doodle books, these are really great if you're a beginner, or at any level if you just want relaxing coloring and you want to use thick, chunky alcohol markers, Sharpies, for example, Amazon Basic permanent markers, Bic permanent markers. Sure, you can use pencil. Sure, you can use gel pens for like all these little things. But Zen Doodle books have shapes. So you got squares, you got like bars, you get circles, what I do, I'll get like 10 different Sharpie greens, and I'll do all this tree, like I'll rotate down 10 and 10, so you got all these different greens, and it just looks really cool. It's kind of like, I like to call it block coloring, kind of blocky. So you don't really want to use paint. Paints would be harder in here. Sure, you can use pencil. I just like my big old markers. You can use acrylic paint pens in here. Just obviously divide your pages. I don't use like my Copic expensive markers, my Prismacolor markers, my Winsor Newton markers in here, because it does have enough tooth for pencil. Sure, it's a little smooth. I just find these pages, they take up a lot more ink, and I like to save those for more space where you can blend. Isn't this cute? I really like it. I always thought the gnomes were weird, these giant bulbous noses. Like, I never know how to color those. How do they do it here? Yeah, I always feel like they look weird. They look like balloons, like they have balloons on their face or something. And there's a lot of pages in here. I think there's probably 40, 50. I don't know. I haven't counted, but it's fun. I'll use, like I showed you guys these in a video not long ago, right here. These are by Shuttle Art permanent markers. These are like more budget friendly than Sharpies. I have my major Sharpie set that has all the colors. I can link both of these below, but these are great. Really thick, rich color you can't really see through. That's great for these things that have all like the lines and the shapes. And it looks really nice and bold. Summer. right. I did offer my son to pay for his emergency room copay, which is $250. But as far as if he has to have surgery on his foot, like, yeah, I got enough to deal with my car and my yard. So I'm not doing it. Whatever his deductibles are. I mean, someone asking you for help, if you're willing to come help, sure, it's a risk. We're in the middle of a storm. You know, it's not, I mean, yes, I asked him for help, but I don't think it's my fault he fell. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably be mad too, like, oh, they gotta be kidding me, you know. But I wouldn't blame the person to be hostile toward them. I just think that's, yeah. I'm still annoyed about how he handled that. Oh, and my favorite store, Trader Joe's. Natural grocers are all out of power still. That power went out 4 days after hours, and it's on the other side of town, and they have not got it back, which is a bummer because I don't really like shopping at the mainstream grocery stores because things are really kind of expensive. I try to go more wholesale. Whole Foods is open, but if you want to spend $50 for one small bag of groceries, maybe more like $70, then go right ahead. We are coming to an end. I miss my coloring too. Well, that's it, you guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. I'll link all of these books below if you want to go check them out. Thanks for supporting my channel. Let me know if you're going to get any of these or what you like, and we'll see you in another video.